A few days ago, I posted some screenshots of this model I designed based on Subnautica's tadpole. Some of you were wondering about surface modeling and the creation of more organic shapes, so I decided to make this quick video detailing my process, as I think the surface tools are a lot easier to work with than some people give it credit for. As an example, we'll be recreating this darker wing section. If you like this, let me know, I'd be happy to make more videos. Just like with solid modeling, our goal should be to find two-dimensional sketches within a three-dimensional object. If we pull up a reference photo here, we see that the outer curves of the wing are an obvious one, so let's start there. To start, we'll select one of the origin planes and draw a little box for our wing to sit in. The box defines the outer shape, so let's say it is 80 millimeters high and 100 millimeters wide. It's not very big, we're making an RC plane today. We'll draw the first curve, we'll draw it down here. It doesn't really matter, we're not defining anything yet, we're just making the basic shape. One more line, and then the last one goes back up there. And then by turning this into a solid line, we've created a filled surface. Anybody who's worked with solids before knows exactly how this works. Currently, I am just constraining the last bits of the sketch with the tangent tool. Last up is defining the last bits of our sketch. Let's say this is 2 millimeters. It looks a lot better smaller like that. The top line can be tangent to this curve, and the bottom one, well, feels good. 80. Looks nice. Let's stick with that. Now next up, to create a solid from this, we're gonna have to go from one flat surface to another. There's multiple ways to approach this, but how I did this is to create one line here and use the main straight line here to create some planes at an angle. Using this tool here, you click the lines, both are at 90 degrees. And now it's as simple as creating two sketches over here, and using these as rails. So let's quickly do that. Projection helps to easily find the midpoint of your line. All you have to do is go like that. This is all arbitrary. I really don't remember what numbers I use, so let's say another 8. I'm feeling like 8s today. Then that sounded really odd. We confirm this, then I make another sketch down there. Do the same thing, but this time we're using an ellipse. Let's say, sure. We finish that, and you've probably used this before. You can make a loft like that just using solids. You click both your surfaces, both your surfaces and your rail. This works, but then the next steps are really hard to do. So instead we'll be doing the exact same thing, but the surface tools. Same buttons basically, but they're orange. So you don't select a surface, but a profile. Actually, it's called a profile in solids too, but you know what I mean. You just select the sketch itself. You do the same thing on the other side, and you select the rails. The menu is the same too, so this part, it shouldn't really shock anybody. And as you can tell, you've got a pretty nice smooth curve. This is what we're looking for, so okay. What we've just created is a surface body. It appears in the Bodies tab, just like it would with solids. To eventually turn this into a solid body, we're gonna have to close off the two holes on the side. To do this, we'll use the Patch tool. This lets you close off any loop and create a new body. For now, we'll click OK. Let's do the same thing on this side. This time though, we don't want our body to be exactly flat. We want to form a curve. For this, we can use the continuity settings. Instead of connected, creating a flat disk or a curve, if your original sketch is in 3 dimensions, we'll select the curvature option. Still a bit stubby. We'll zoom out and we pull this arrow. Try to find a nice point. I think this looks good. We'll select OK. Now that our main body is done, we'll be cutting out the two middle sections. To do this, we'll be editing our first sketch and drawing the defining lines. I'll do this quickly. Bit of a messy process, but this shows the basic outline for where the the cutout starts. So it took me a while to figure out an approach here, but what worked out is to create offsets here. Let's say 3 millimeters and another one here. And we'll use this to cut out the big main body. First, obviously, make sure that your sketch is always fully defined. So we'll do that quickly. And then we'll finish this. And once we make our sketch reappear, we can use this to cut out our body. Gone that way, symmetric, we use cut. And as you notice, we have two new surfaces. Now that our two bodies are scaled down, we want to patch everything up and turn it into a solid. To do this, we might want to use our patch tool, but there are no enclosed chains just yet. We want to create them with the loft tool. Let's start over here. We'll select these two lines and connect them there. This is really nothing new. Same with this. Instead of these sharp lines, we'll select curvature. We'll do this on both sides. Let's see a nice curve forming. We'll do the same thing for all of these connections. Now that we've created our lofts, we can close up the gaps with the tool we've used before. Make sure to disable and group edges, because it often grabs the wrong ones. Go around the whole shape. Sometimes you have to zoom in a little bit. It can be tricky. Make sure you select every single shape, and you see a new surface appear. The last thing to do is something we've done before. We make sure our edges are defined as a curved edge. To make this easier, group them all together and select curvature. It's hard to see sometimes, but especially if you're 3D printing or rendering your images, it looks a lot better when it's curved like this. Select OK. Do the same thing on the other side. Before we can go back to a solid, we're also going to have to enclose the bottom. Luckily, the mirror feature in the Solids tab also works for surface features. Now that we have a fully enclosed body, we can turn it back into a solid. We can simply select everything, make sure everything is actually selected, and in the Surface tab, we'll find Stitch. This creates a quick image of all the lines that will be stitched together. If there are somehow gaps, you'll see red lines, but in our case, we're all good. So we'll click OK. And there we go, solid body created. As you can see through our analysis tool, we can cut through and it's fully solid, with our beautiful curves remaining in place. So the next bit of tutorial is kind of boring. I'm just going to show how to make the little recesses in here. It's just an extrude cut from a surface. If you know how that works, you're free to go. Thanks for watching. For anyone else, this last bit is just solid modeling, but it might still be interesting. Our problem is that we have this nice plane here, but because of its curvature, we can't really sketch on it. So instead, we'll draw over here. We'll start by creating a center slot and patterning it within the sketch. I'm sure you noticed that at some point I had to change how wide the slots were. A big part of my process is just trying out different numbers and seeing what works. Same with this, I think that looks a lot better. I think this, we might have to go higher as well. So now that the pattern is mostly aligned, we just have to edit a few of the slots to make them like align better with the line up there. To do that, we can quickly add a few circles up there. It's a bit crude, but it works a lot better. You can also use this tool, the 3-point arc, but at least for me, I found that Fusion gets a bit slow if you use that, so this works well. Right now, I'm just aligning these circles roughly by hand with the dimension tool. Honestly, this approach is very crude, so it's not an official part of the tutorial, don't watch this bit. But at the same time, it kind of works. It's for 3D printing. Eventually, it turns out the same. It doesn't really matter. So, like, if it works, if we hide our main body, we can more easily select our sketches to start extruding. We go to our extrude menu, we select object and our surface. So let's say a depth of -0.4. Let's see if this works. It does take a second sometimes, but as you see, it makes these extrusions perfectly. This doesn't look too great, honestly. You should probably edit that sketch, then copy the pattern down here. It'll look a little different, but I'm sure you'll figure that out. And then everything can just be mirrored along the center line. If this was useful at all, or you think I did terribly, definitely let me know in the comments. Doei!